Welcome back to the Graham Stephan Show. So as some of you guys know, I spend a lot of time on YouTube just watching videos about personal finance. It sounds really boring, but you know what? It's exciting when you find channels like this, okay? Because this guy's name is Caleb Hammer, and what he does is review the spending habits of millennials who are just really bad with money. And I noticed this one here. I thought it was quite interesting because this person is spending $1,000 a month on a car when they're making $15 an hour. And I think it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that that's a no-no. You don't do that. So today, we're gonna be reviewing the spending habits of this individual who should not be spending $1,000 a month on a car payment. As soon as you smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't done that already. I'll also link to Caleb's channel down below in the description. If you wanna check him out, I would recommend it. And now with that said, let's begin. This is gonna be a doozy, just watch.
Hello, my name is Tyler Lauren. I'm 23 years old. I am from California and now living in Austin, Texas.
Oh, that's the problem right there. She's living in California.
Living in Austin, Texas.
Man, I'm so excited and just thrilled to have just gotten out of there because you've seen the rains lately? The city's not designed for water of any kind. It's designed for a drought that just completely dries up anything of life there. And now they're getting bombarded with water and the cities don't know how to handle it. But you know what? I'm happy not to be there.
Do you know how much you make on a monthly basis?
$2,400 a month.
Okay, cool. Is that after taxes or before?
After taxes.
It's kind of hard to live on Austin and...
Wow, $2,400 a month right off the bat. She's spending almost 50% of her income on the car. What do you need to drive that's $1,000 a month? I mean, she better be driving a cool car. Like, I hope for her sake, at least she could say, yo, I'm driving down the Sunset Strip in my brand new V8 Mustang GT500. It's an awesome car. It goes fast. I hope it's not like a Toyota Prius or something that are like a really high interest rate.
How much do you think you spent, though, in that 30 days?
Mostly all of it. All of it, probably bills and stuff I have to pay for now.
So you spent $55.83.
Pretty close to all of it.
Pretty close to all of it, but you actually have $792 sitting in there at the time of this statement. But let's look into your checking account and see what you're spending money on.
Okay, so she has $700 a month left over. That could actually be pretty good, but chances are that's gonna be gone pretty soon.
$158.91. But that was on the debit card. Doesn't calculate how much you gave to other people in Venmo if you went out with friends or anything like that. And it doesn't calculate how much you took out for ATMs.
All right, so let's just say it's $220 a month. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, it is kind of relative to her income, but at the same time, I mean, it's like, I've seen way worse. I've seen it where like the food bill is like thousands of dollars a month. This one she could cut back, but you know what? Her main problem is she needs to make more than $15 an hour. I mean, when we really get down to it, she needs to increase her income.
Uber trip, Uber trip, Uber trip. Why so many Uber trips? What are you doing?
I have to get out. I can't just be staying in the house all day.
Oh, man, that's so expensive. Uber trips. That's a lot of money spent on Uber. She's keeping them alive. Man, their margins went down until she got on the app, and then all of a sudden they're raking in the cash. Wow.
$246 for the car payment every week.
Every week?
Yeah, but it's gonna change to $110 because I have a deferred payment.
Oh, I see what you did. Okay, so we can quickly transition to your car debt then. Your primary loan of the car, essentially $15,000.
Okay, $15,000. That's a very, very, very high payment for this, unless she's paying it off fast.
Why don't you just actually save up some money and put money down instead of financing a down payment?
I'll put more money down?
Why didn't you just put money down in general?
I put $1,400 down. I could have put $2,000. I was supposed to put $2,000, but they deferred the payment of $600. So I had to pay that extra to pay that off, that $600. Then it's gonna be $110 a week.
Oh man, this is just like the people who have the hardest time financing are the ones who spend the most amount of money financing because they know they just get raked. I want to see what the interest rate is because for me, if it's like if she has a 2% interest rate over 5 years, it's not as bad because she's building a lot of equity in the car. My thing though is that she doesn't need a $15,000 car. I guarantee a $5,000 car, an $8,000 car, something half the cost would honestly be just as good. Get a good Toyota Corolla, Honda Civic, just like the good little cars that you could drive 250,000 miles. They don't break down. They're very cheap. They're inexpensive to maintain. Like, that's the sort of car she should be driving.
You do weekly budgets instead of monthly?
I just feel like it would just be easier for me. I don't know, because I would have to save. I would have to save more.
They finance every week because she has a higher likelihood of defaulting. So for the dealership, they have a lot more wiggle room here. When they're getting paid every week, it's harder for her to fall behind. And if she doesn't pay, if she misses 1 week, then all of a sudden they could repossess the car. Because imagine going a month and then missing a payment. They're missing all that time. But this time, the dealership's only missing 7 days. It's very tricky.
Oh, I do see. 246. I was like, oh, okay, 246. That's your monthly car payment. That's not that bad. 246 a week? For how many weeks? How many weeks until it's paid off? 4 weeks, so you're only doing that for a month?
Oh, 3. I would have to check. I would have to call and ask.
Oh, she did Affirm. She did Affirm. Now, for those who aren't aware of Affirm, you see them everywhere now. Basically, what you could do is you could, instead of paying up front for a product, essentially what they'll do is they'll say you could split it up, over the 4 payments. So instead of paying $1,000 up front, Affirm says, with the click of a button, just pay $250 for the next 4 weeks, and there you go. It's the same thing. But it really just makes people spend more money than they actually have. I think it can be a useful service. For people who know how to take advantage of it, fine, because the financing terms are pretty good. But if you miss a payment, you are wrecked. You are just down the gutter. They get you. And a lot of people spend more money because of Affirm than they would have otherwise had they had to pay for it up front.
I can really have a good story after like my ex-husband ruined my credit. There could be a whole story about credit. If you were to pull my credit score, but it's like 18 things on my credit now.
Oh, that's why she's paying so much money and she's having to pay weekly. Like I said earlier, for the dealership, this is their kind of insurance policy to make sure she doesn't default on her payment, because then they'll repossess the car very, very, very fast.
Never seen a credit score in the 400s before.
She's laughing at it. I mean, what do you do at this point? It's like, you have to laugh at it. It's either you're crying or you're laughing over a 400 credit score. She's got I don't want to say she has a good attitude about it, but like what do? You gotta laugh at it. Like at a certain point, you just gotta find the humor in things and be like, yep, screwed up, should have done things a little bit differently. Life happened, get that sorted out. But how on earth is she able to get a car loan is beyond me.
You have $4,630 in collections. Did you know that?
Yeah. I didn't know it was that number, but I knew it was a lot of stuff on there.
Oh, what's gonna go to all that stuff in collections? She's not paying her bills. Yeah, she really needs to dig herself out of that. She could probably do this within a year of just like hunkering down, saving money, increasing her income, scaling back on the expenses. She could dig herself out of this. It's not something she can't recover from.
You need to call them and negotiate this down, and you're gonna have to fight with them.
That's good advice, actually. So the thing with collections is that once a debt goes to collections, the chances of them getting paid back go to zilch. A lot of them are just never going to be paid off. So what they do is, like, let's say that I owe $100 for a debt to Caleb, okay? What Caleb does when I'm in default, he has this $100 debt on his hands, and he could go to a third-party debt collections company and say, hey, you buy my debt for $5, and that way you could go and collect the money. And if you get paid $100, then there you go, you 20 extra money. But a lot of them just go to zero. So they sell this debt at pennies on the dollar, just expecting that most of them are going to default, but the few that pay it off end up making up for all the losses. So what she could do is go to this company, just knowing that they bought this debt. If her debt's $4,000, they probably paid a few $100s for it. And she could go to them and say, hey, I'll pay you $1,000, just, get it off my account. And they might do it. So that's how it works.
They've been there for 2 years? Why have you not paid this off? Please tell me a reason.
I didn't really look into it.
The thing is, it's like after 7 years, it just disappears. So a lot of people, they'll rack up debt, they won't pay it off, and they just know that in 7 years from now, it'll go wiped off their credit report and they'll be good to go again. She's young enough where, technically she could probably do that because it's not like she's going to buy a house anytime soon. So she could just do that and let it fall off.
You had collections on your account. That means you're a terrible person to lend to.
He paused there. That means you're a terrible person to lend to.
You're a terrible person.
You could tell. He's like, that means you're a terrible person. Nice save. Good save on that one.
I mean, at some point, they can take you to court, right?
Yeah.
How are you not sweating right now?
I'm holding it in.
The thing is, I doubt they're going to take her to court. I mean, they could, but if they have nothing to collect, what's the point? They're going to spend so much money taking her to court to collect what? What does she have? You know, realistically, they're not going to do that.
What other monthly payments do you have to take care of?
That's it.
Car insurance is car insurance.
Yeah.
Of?
I haven't gotten car insurance yet. Like, they have car insurance on the car.
What? She doesn't have car insurance. Wait, she has it on the car, but maybe she just has minimal coverage. That's probably what it is.
And you applied for a Capital One credit card?
No, probably my ex did that. He probably has a lot of access to a lot of stuff, but there's only so much I can do.
You need to make sure your boyfriend is not applying for credit on your behalf.
Oh, come on. What is she? Okay, so let's say he is going and applying for credit in her name. What is she going to say? Text him, hey, don't do that? What is he going to do? Like, all right, I'm not, like, it's going to make it worse. Report identity theft immediately. Put a lock. What you could do is you could put a freeze in your credit accounts. It's extremely easy. You go online. It takes you maybe a few minutes. You put a freeze on Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Do that online, and then what that means is that they can't take out any new credit under that under your name. It's fantastic. I highly recommend, by the way, for anyone who's not actively getting credit cards or getting a loan, put a freeze on it. A lot of times it's free. It's going to cost you next to nothing, just besides your time. And then when you want to get a loan, just take the freeze off.
All the rest goes to like what I want or need. Or...
There is no more wants. You have no more wants. You have no more wants. Okay. Today, you need to figure out that school payment. You need to pay that today with the money that's in your account.
He's very firm. He's very firm with her. She, see, I don't know. See, part of me thinks this is good. It's like, you gotta lay down the law here. She can't be doing this. She's gotta turn her life around. She's young enough where he could make a significant impact on her. She could clean things up, and within like 2 years, she'll be good to go. She'll be set. On the other hand, maybe it's just like too tough where she's just gonna like zone out and tune this all out and be like, this is a terrible experience. I'm just gonna bury my head in the sand and never look at money ever again. We'll see. We'll see which this turns into.
You need to get rid of this car because that's insane. $1,000 a month, and then eventually $500 a month.
The problem, though, is that she just paid sales tax on the car. California pays, she's probably paying a 9% sales tax. So if the car is $15,000, she just paid $1,387 that she is not getting back at all. And if she buys another car, she's paying another 9% on top of that. It's a lot. So,
because used car, it's a seller's market right now. I think you could get close to this $15,000. I really do. Unless they really jibbed you, because it sounded like you went to like a sketchy place.
Yeah, but what if she can't get the price and then she's coming out of pocket to sell the car? It's like the car has been such a nightmare for her.
This is not a joke.
Well, they said I had 90 days to give back the car.
Really? If that's in the contract?
It's in the, yeah, it's in the...
You seriously need to do that when you leave this place.
Oh gosh, yes. If she could get back the car and recoup that money just like instantly and the taxes are refunded and stuff, that's a great... She got lucky if that were the case.
Are you going to sell this car?
I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
What is there to think about? What is any other logical point against what I just said?
Oh man, putting her on the spot. I don't know if she's going to be able to argue this one. She just got a car with her mom. I mean, he's tough on this one.
I worked so hard to get that car.
You literally financed the down payment. What did you work for? The $1,000 you put down?
$1,400.
So that's what you worked so hard for? This car's nothing.
Your car is trash. I spit on that car, man. I wouldn't even park next to your car.
What are you gonna do to get there?
I'm hoping to just like get an acting gig and
An acting gig. That's California for you. I mean, tell me you live in Los Angeles without telling me you're living in Los Angeles. You're looking for an acting gig.
So there's lots of hoping, but no plan. No actionable items.
no plan yet.
Yeah, she's too old for not having a plan. She's 23. She needs a plan on this one. I overall think that Caleb is being, firm with her.
This car's nothing.
She needs to want to change for herself. If she doesn't want to do this, she's not going to do it. All of this advice is going to go over her head. But you know what? At least Caleb is, tough love. I tend to agree with it, and I also think that she could be getting a free stock down below in the description when you sign up for Public using the code GRAHAM, because that could be worth all the way up to $1,000. They've been a sponsor of the channel for a while now, and if you want to support them and this channel as well, again, it's worth all the way up to $1,000 when you sign up with the code GRAHAM, make a deposit. Enjoy. Let me know which stock you get. Thank you so much, and until next time.